The old Victorian mansion stood silent in the October night, its weathered shutters closed against the world. Inside, Sarah Mitchell sat by the tall windows of the library, watching moonlight filter through the ancient oak trees. 3 months had passed since she'd discovered the truth about her husband. 3 months since she'd learned that Marcus wasn't just the quiet, mysterious man she'd fallen in love with during those warm summer evenings. He was something far more complicated. The grandfather clock in the corner chimed midnight, its deep voice echoing through the empty halls. Sarah pulled her wool shawl closer around her shoulders. The house always felt colder at night now, though she couldn't tell if it was the approaching winter or the distance that had grown between them. Marcus had been different since their wedding day. Not cruel or unkind, but careful. So very careful, with her as if she might break at any moment. He spoke in measured words, moved with deliberate grace, and never, ever let himself forget what he was. She could see the weight of centuries in his dark eyes, the burden of secrets that stretched back through time like shadows. The problem wasn't that he was a vampire. Sarah had made peace with that truth weeks ago. The problem was that he couldn't seem to make peace with her acceptance of it. She heard his footsteps on the stairs before he appeared in the doorway. Even after all this time, her heart still quickened at the sight of him. Tall and lean, with dark hair that caught the lamplight and eyes that held depth she was still discovering. He wore a simple white shirt and dark trousers, but he moved with the fluid elegance of someone who had learned grace over many lifetimes. "You're up late again," Marcus said softly, his voice carrying that faint accent she'd never been able to place. European, certainly, but from which century, she could only guess. "So are you," Sarah replied, setting down the book she hadn't really been reading. "Though I suppose for you, this is still early evening." He smiled at that, but it didn't reach his eyes. "Sarah, we need to talk." Those 4 words sent a chill through her that had nothing to do with the October air. She'd been expecting this conversation, dreading it, hoping it would never come. But here it was, standing in her doorway, with the face of the man she loved. Marcus moved to the chair across from her, but he didn't sit. Instead, he stood behind it, gripping the back with hands that were steadier than his voice. "I've been thinking about our situation, about what's best for you." "What's best for me?" Sarah stood as well, facing him across the small distance that suddenly felt like an ocean. "Or what's easiest for you?" "That's not fair, isn't it?" She moved closer, watching his jaw tighten. "Marcus, you've been treating me like a guest in my own home. You barely touch me anymore. You leave every evening and don't return until dawn. You think I don't notice, but I do." His shoulders sagged slightly. "I'm trying to protect you." "From what? From you? From this life?" Sarah gestured around the room, at the home they'd planned to share forever. "I chose this, Marcus. I chose you. All of you. You don't understand what you've chosen." His voice grew rough with emotion. "You don't know what it means to watch everyone you love grow old and die while you remain unchanged. You don't know the hunger, the constant struggle, the isolation. Then teach me." The words came out stronger than she'd intended. "Don't shut me out. Don't make this decision for me." Marcus finally looked directly at her, and she saw something she hadn't expected. Fear. Not of her, but for her. "What if I hurt you? What if I lose control? What if you don't?" Sarah interrupted gently. She moved around the chair until she stood directly in front of him. "What if we figure this out together? What if love is stronger than fear?" For a long moment, they stood there in the lamplight, the space between them charged with all the words they'd been afraid to say. Outside, the wind rustled through the oak trees, and somewhere in the distance a nightbird called to its mate. "There's something I haven't told you," Marcus said finally. His voice was barely above a whisper. "Something about what happened on our wedding night." Sarah's breath caught. She'd wondered about that night, about the moment when everything had changed between them. What is it? When we were pronounced husband and wife. When you kissed me at the altar? He paused, searching for the right words. Something awakened, in you. Something I've never encountered in all my years. I don't understand. Marcus reached out tentatively, his fingers brushing against her cheek. At his touch, Sarah felt it. A warmth that spread from her skin inward. A gentle glow that seemed to emanate from somewhere deep inside her. You're changing, he said softly. Not into what I am, but into something new. Something I've only read about in the oldest texts. A bridge between worlds. Sarah stared at him, pieces of a puzzle she hadn't known existed suddenly clicking into place. The way she could sense his emotions now. The way she never felt tired at night anymore. The way the darkness no longer frightened her. Is that why you've been avoiding me? Because I'm becoming something else? Because I was afraid of what it meant. Afraid I'd caused it somehow. Afraid you'd hate me for changing you without your consent. Sarah took his face in her hands, feeling the familiar coolness of his skin. Marcus, look at me. Really look at me. He did. And she saw the moment he truly saw her. Not as the fragile human he needed to protect, but as his equal, his partner, his match in every way that mattered. I'm not afraid, she said simply. Whatever I'm becoming, whatever we're becoming together, I'm not afraid. Are you? For the first time in months, Marcus smiled, really smiled, and pulled her into his arms. Terrified, he admitted against her hair. But not of you. Never of you. They held each other in the quiet library as the moon continued its journey across the sky. Outside, the world slept on, unaware that in one old Victorian mansion, two souls had found their way back to each other. So what happens now? Sarah asked eventually. Marcus pulled back to look at her and she saw something new in his eyes. Hope. Now we learn together. We figure out what this new chapter means for us. We write our own story. Promise me something, Sarah said, her fingers tracing the line of his jaw. Anything. Promise me no more secrets. No more protecting me from the truth. We face whatever comes next as partners. I promise, Marcus said, and sealed it with a kiss that tasted like moonlight and forever. As they stood there together, Sarah felt the last of the distance between them dissolve. Whatever she was becoming, whatever challenges lay ahead, they would meet them together. The old Victorian mansion no longer felt cold. It felt like home.